And there's someone you haven't thought about in years. No photos, no messages, no memories. In fact, if someone mentioned their name yesterday, you probably wouldn't even recognize it. Then tonight, they suddenly appear in your dream. Their face is crystal clear. You hear their voice. You remember places you haven't seen in decades. And when you wake up, one question refuses to leave your mind. Why them? Out of the thousands of people you've met, why did your brain choose someone you forgot even existed? Most people think dreams are messages. Others think they're random. But psychologists have uncovered something far stranger. Because the person in your dream usually isn't the real subject of the dream. Your brain is using them to tell a completely different story. To understand why, you first have to understand how memory actually works. Most people imagine memories like folders on a computer. Open one, and the memory appears exactly as you left it. Your brain doesn't work like that. It's much messier. Imagine a giant spider web. Every person you've ever met, every place you've ever visited, every smell, every song, every emotion is connected by thousands of invisible threads. Touch one thread, and another one vibrates. That's how memory works, which means your brain almost never remembers one thing by itself. It remembers networks. Think about the smell of sunscreen. For some people, it instantly brings back childhood summers. Not because they were thinking about childhood, but because one tiny detail activated an entire network of memories. Dreams work in a surprisingly similar way. While you sleep, your brain isn't replaying your past. It's reorganizing it, sorting memories, strengthening some, weakening others, looking for patterns. It's almost like a librarian working overnight. Most books stay on the shelves. Some get moved. Others get opened for the first time in years. And sometimes, your brain reaches for someone you haven't seen in a decade. Not because they're important today, because they unlock something that is. Imagine you've been feeling uncertain lately. Without realizing it, your brain starts searching for similar emotions. Maybe the last time you felt that exact feeling. You were 16. Maybe there was a teacher, a friend, or someone you barely knew. Your dream doesn't choose that person because you miss them. It chooses them because your brain remembers how you felt around them. The person becomes a symbol, not the destination, the key. That's why dreaming about an ex who doesn't automatically mean you still love them. Sometimes, your ex represents freedom, sometimes loneliness, sometimes confidence, sometimes simply a period of your life your brain wants to revisit. The dream isn't asking you to call them, it's asking you to understand yourself. Then there's something even stranger. Have you ever dreamed about someone you barely remember meeting? That's possible because your brain stores far more faces than you realize. Every cashier, every student who walked past you, every stranger in an airport, every waiter, every neighbor. Researchers believe your brain records an enormous number of faces, even if you never consciously remember them. Most disappear from your awareness, but they don't disappear from your memory, which gives your dreams an almost endless cast of characters. Sometimes, your brain even combines them. One person's eyes, another person's smile, someone else's voice. The result feels completely real, even though that person has never actually existed. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. Why do dreams feel so convincing? Why don't you question them? Because while you're dreaming, the emotional parts of your brain become incredibly active. The logical parts become much quieter. Your brain can create impossible situations, and you'll accept every second of them. You'll talk to someone who died years ago, walk through a house that no longer exists, be 20 years younger without noticing anything strange. Because dreams aren't trying to recreate reality, they're trying to recreate emotion. And emotions don't care about logic, they care about meaning. Then you wake up, and suddenly, you can't stop thinking about that person. Many people believe the dream created the memory, but psychologists think the opposite may be true. The memory was already becoming active while you slept. The dream simply made you aware of it. It's like someone quietly turning on a light before you opened your eyes. But what about those moments when you dream about someone and they text you the next day, or you unexpectedly see them a few days later? It feels impossible to ignore, almost supernatural. Social media is full of stories claiming this is proof of a psychic connection, that dreams can predict the future, or that two people somehow shared the same thought. It's a comforting idea, but psychologists offer a much simpler explanation. Over the course of your life, you'll dream about hundreds, maybe thousands, of different people, friends, co-workers, family, strangers. Most of those dreams never come true. You forget them within hours, but the one time you dream about an old friend and they message you the next morning, your brain pays attention. It feels extraordinary, not because it happens often, but because it almost never does. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. Our brains naturally remember the coincidences that support a story, while quietly ignoring the thousands that don't. It's one of the reasons humans are so good at finding meaning, even where none exists. And that's not a flaw. It's actually one of the reasons our species survived. Our ancestors were rewarded for spotting patterns. Sometimes those patterns were real. sometimes they weren't. But our brains kept searching anyway. Which brings us back to the original question. Why do we dream about people we haven't seen in years? Not because they're secretly thinking about us. Not because the universe is sending us a message. And usually, not because we miss them. We dream about them because our brain isn't trying to remember people. It's trying to understand emotions. The people are simply the language it uses. Every face, every voice, every forgotten memory is a tool your mind borrows to explain something happening inside you today. Which means, the next time someone from your past suddenly appears in your dreams, don't ask, why did I dream about them? Ask something much more interesting. What feeling was my brain trying to understand? Because sometimes, the person in your dream was never the mystery. The mystery was always you.